I was out on a walk one afternoon, going down to my local pharmacy to read some magazines and maybe buy a snack. On my way there, I noticed a garage sale. I don't normally care about things like that, yet I figured I could spare a minute or two and look around. Who knows? Might find something cool. And as fate would have it, I did. I noticed an old Looney Tunes DVD, actually. The case was rather old and worn. Some of the characters' faces seemed to have been ripped off. Probably from a little kid or something. But I used to love these things when I was a kid. I especially loved Wile E. Coyote. And it also said that it had a special lost episode. Never heard about any one of those. Yet when I asked to buy it, the owner said, "You don't want that DVD, dude." "Why not?" I asked. "That lost episode is..." He trailed off, as if in a trance, haunted by some horrible nightmare. I didn't really care. I mean, if it's bad, so be it. I still got plenty of other episodes to watch on it. In the end, I bought it from the guy anyway, who shook his head and frowned as I left. Jeez, I said to myself, how bad can it really be? Later that night, I decided to watch the DVD. The rest of my family had gone to bed already. My brother and sister had to go to school early tomorrow. My mom had a tough day at work and basically crashed on her bed when she got home, and my dad goes to work at 5 a.m. So it was just me, myself, and I watching some good old Looney Tunes. I put it in the player, and soon enough the main screen came up with all the options. Looked cute enough. It had Bugs in the center munching a carrot, Wiley and Roadrunner in the background on one side, and Sylvester and Tweety on the other. Occasionally Daffy popped up every once in a while trying to get on the screen, yet when he does, Elmer Fudd shoots him with his gun. I noticed the lost episode had a section just for itself, and I remembered how freaked out the guy was. How terrible can it be? I said to myself, thinking once again. I'll give you a play-by-play. So, the episode starts off normally, the WB sign zooming up, followed by that little doo-doo-doo-doo music. Tone deaf, sorry. But then the title of the episode comes up. I Got Them All. Bit odd, but whatever. The title fades away, and I'm now shown Wile E. Coyote, yet he isn't running after the Roadrunner. In fact, I didn't even hear a meep meep. Also, those goofy scientific Latin names that they put under he and Wiley didn't pop up. The most unusual thing was, it was nighttime in the desert. To my knowledge, no Wile E. Coyote cartoon was ever shown with it being night. Wiley just stood there, looking at the camera with a really sad and serious look on his face as no music plays. There is an orange glow coming from the left of him, and I could see what sounds like a fire near him off screen. He just stands there looking at the camera, looking at me for about 15 seconds. He then turns his head near the off-screen fire, and the camera stays on him so that I can't tell exactly what he's looking at. He looks back at me and holds up a sign that reads, "You laughed at me." I didn't exactly get where this was going. But then he talks. Rarely does Wiley ever talk unless he's with Bugs Bunny. "You all said it couldn't be done," Wiley says, "that I can't catch him, that destiny dictates that shall not be." I lifted an eyebrow, still wondering where this was going. Wiley walks off screen, and when he's totally gone, I hear something wet and squishy along with the fire. Wiley walks back and looks at me once more, then lifts his hand. I gasped at what was in it. The Roadrunner's head. Wile laughs and proceeds to bite into the bird's decapitated skull. And as he does this, the scene flashes to Wile, silhouetted by a full moon as he runs through the desert night. Back to Wile and Roadrunner's head for a moment, and then back to Wile. Still only a shadowed outline of him. Then I see the Roadrunner sleeping in a nest. Wile walks towards him. Back to Wile, who taking another bite of the Roadrunner's head with blood dripping out of it. It cuts back and forth at this point. Back to the Coyote creeping to the nest as he now stands right behind the sleeping bird. I'm now shown Wile's feet. Blood drips down near them as the sound of him eating the head is heard. Again we return to Wile in the nest. Wile now holds what looks like a large knife. No way, I remember saying just before it happened. Hey. Wile jams the knife right into the Roadrunner's head. Its blade coming out the front and piercing one of his eyes. For a brief moment, the Roadrunner twitches. Then his body goes limp, and Wile pulls out the knife by ripping it out the top of his head, followed by chopping off his neck. He tosses the head away and smiles. Surprised, I see, Wile said. Well, how about this? He reaches for a side of the screen and moves the camera over to where the fire is. Only to reveal the rest of the Looney Tune characters' heads on poles. He walks over to the first one, Porky Pig. The scene then cuts to an image of Porky's body on the floor being cut open, and his internal organs being ripped out by Wile's hands. Next is Sylvester. All we see in his scene is his decapitated head in a toilet, floating in the blood and water in it. Elmer Fudd. Only his hat is on the pole. The scene goes to him with his shotgun in his mouth. His head then explodes in a bloody, brainy mess as what I assume was Wile firing it. Sam shot with his pistols, Foghorn skinned alive, the dog chainsawed to bits. I felt like wanting to vomit with each new character introduced, followed by how they died. Soon enough, he came to Bugs. Bugs still had his whole body, yet was impaled upon a much longer pole, body still twitching, its tip coming out of his mouth. The camera moves to the side of his head. His eyes move to look at me, and he tries to mutter something, yet can't. Wile then gets a knife and cuts one of Bugs' ears off. I don't know how I managed to make it this far without turning it off. You want me to stop? Wile asked, as if he knew what I was thinking. Could he hear me? Could he see me? Wile goes in to stab Bugs in the bottom of his spine, then lead the blade up to his neck. Blood gushes out of the new wound. I couldn't take it. I stopped the DVD, took it out, and broke it. I didn't watch Looney Tunes for 2 months after I saw that. I was too afraid that the episode would appear, and I still am. I did try looking it up on YouTube, but no site for that matter has it. I just pray nobody else has a copy of this DVD.